Hey there. A member of the Knife Club Reddit sub had suggested I do a little bit of a tour of one of the pieces I posted recently, which is this guy here. This is the Richard Rogers Tangent. And I looked at collection. I probably have a handful of these sort of oddballs that you may not have seen before on YouTube or what have you. So if you're interested in a tour of this type with some other pieces, then for sure, I'd love to do that if it's useful. So yeah, let's move these to the side here. I'll give the names of these pieces in the comments below. And then today we'll take a brief tour of this guy here. Richard Rogers Tangent, if I were to guess, is probably 2012, 2013 model, maybe later. Definitely an oddball amongst his creations, which are typically actually pretty impressive range of small to large knives. Traditional, modern takes on traditional folders, flippers, top flippers, side flippers. Just an amazing creator, designer, maker. And this one came up in a trade recently for another Rogers knife that I owned. And I think it did pretty well. I really like this guy. I didn't love it initially because it was a strange guy. But after having it for, I don't know, 4, 5, 6 days, it's really grown on me. In fact, I've been carrying it since I got it. So the handles here, the scales, are smooth carbon fiber weave. You'll see on both sides. He does make this, or he did make this with a bolster, titanium bolster up here, but this one is full carbon fiber. The titanium hardware, the clip, the liners are tumbled, and the back spacers are all anodized copper, or I should say bronze. The clip itself is really cool. It has this matte finish on top, but then on the side, you have it polished. Perfect transition between the matte and the polished. Just absolutely fantastic detail. Beautifully polished back spacers. And he did something similar with this guy here. This is the 4F. There's size comparison here. Oh, there you go. So if you look at the clip here, similar matte on top, and then you have that beautiful gloss finish on the side. I think it's so neat. Gorgeous. Let's open this up. Very smooth action on washers. It's the Rogers logo there. Blade is 3.5 inches. Close length is 4.5 inches. There you got the perfect lockup. Look at that early lockup. CPM 154. Let's close this. Action is very controlled, very controlled. It's actually a great sort of escape from the flippy washers that I typically, ball bearing action that I typically buy. I think that's why I like this one so much, because it's definitely different from what I've collected recently. Centering is dead on. You know, I did see if it can get a little bit more drop shutty by loosening the pivot, maybe a 1/16 of a turn, and the action, the centering did start to favor the show side a little bit, which is typical. So I kept it back to its original controlled state. So as you can see, this little hole here is pretty unique for Rogers. I don't know if any other model features an opener like this. I'm definitely digging that it's not a flipper, no extra pieces of metal sticking out. Really dig that. You can flick it open, but not really meant to be flicked. You can't really spidey flick it either. Maybe, well, I can't, maybe others can. Or maybe I could with some practice. See, it doesn't quite get all the way. So yeah, that's this piece. I'll shut up for a little bit so you can check it out. If you want a comparison, if you're into Rogers, let's show you the 4F. I think is his biggest. So smaller than the 4F. This is the 4F in my hand. I'm gonna do that later. And then here's the Rogers. I have a large, extra large hands, probably in between a large, extra large by your rubber glove standard. Perfect fit. You know, one thing I wasn't sure about was that this is pretty sharp here, this edge. Yeah, it is chamfered to an extent, but it comes to a point. So, you know, if you put your finger on that, it's sharper than I would expect. But when you hold it, I don't feel it at all. It's basically perfectly aligned in the nook of my fingers when I hold it like this, you know? So yeah, I was a little concerned about that, but it's really an interesting design. Still love it. Don't know what I'm gonna do with it yet. I'm gonna keep it, carry it for a while. Yeah, I think this is unique. I'll probably keep this for a long time. All right, well, thank you very much. If you're interested in a tour of some of the other oddballs, and I have some weird ones in the collection to show you. Again, I'll give you the names of these guys. I think these are probably 3 of the other ones that you might not have seen. This is the Gareth Will Prototype Kalos, which is pretty neat Damas steel, and you got his name in the hole right there. So I can give you a tour of this one at some point if you like. All right, hope this was helpful. Thanks, have a good one.